We got a friendly welcome before we started our tour. Say hello to the local harbour cat. Welcome to Oban, Scotland. We start our tour at the Oban Railway Pier. It's a harbour where you can catch a ferry to one of the nearby islands. We're now approaching the famous Oban Seafood Hut, though most locals just call it the Green Shack. It's right here on the railway pier. They've been serving fresh local catches since 1990. If you're ever here in person, their crab sandwiches and scallops are a must-try. There's nothing quite like eating fresh seafood while watching the ferries come and go. The Oban Seafood Hut may only accept cash, so keep that in mind if you plan to visit. And be sure to watch out for seagulls. They're not shy around these parts. On the right up ahead is the Corryvreckan restaurant. It's named after the famous Corryvreckan Whirlpool, the third largest in the world, located just off the coast between Jura and Scarba. It's a favorite spot for a quick bite while waiting for the ferries to Mull or Colonsay. A legend of the Corryvreckan Whirlpool says it was named after a Norse king, Breckan. He wanted to prove his love for a Lord of the Isles' daughter. To win her hand, he had to anchor his ship in the whirlpool for 3 days and 3 nights. He used 3 ropes, one made of wool, one of hemp, and the last of hair from the purest maidens in the land. Sadly, the first 2 snapped, and the third failed because one maiden wasn't quite as pure as she claimed. Poor Breckan and his ship were dragged down into the depths. It's said his body was eventually found and buried in a cave nearby. On the right up ahead is McCaig's warehouse. This building used to be a grain warehouse back in the day, but now it's the place to go for a cozy Scottish jumper or some sturdy walking boots. Here's McGillivray's, another local favorite. They're famous for their fresh fish and chips, but their seafood boxes are the real hidden gem. Just watch out for the seagulls. They really love those chips. We're actually walking on man-made land. This entire quay was reclaimed from the sea in 1880. It allowed the railway to reach the water's edge. The railway transformed Oban from a small fishing village into the lively, scenic town we see today. Before the tracks arrived in 1880, this was a quiet, isolated outpost. But the Victorian engineers had a grand vision, one that required battling through some of the toughest terrain in the Highlands. They even installed a unique safety system called Anderson's Piano in the Pass of Brander, where wires connected to bells would warn signalmen if falling rocks hit the line. Oban welcomes over 25,000 visitors every day in summer. The town's population triples during the peak season. Many people are here to catch a boat to the nearby islands. The green shop up ahead on the right is the Iona shop. It was a family business for 70 years, specializing in Celtic silver jewelry. Sadly, it shut down permanently in 2025. The red shop is the Staffa Tours booking office. This is where you can book trips to see Fingal's Cave. They also take visitors out to see the Puffin colonies. We're now heading towards the main street, George Street. This is the main thoroughfare of the town. It has many beautiful Victorian buildings. Most of them date back to the late 1800s. We can hear Scotland's national instrument nearby. Let's listen to the Bagpiper across the street. The song being played is called the Drunken Piper. It's often played by street pipers and at the Highland Games. There are many shops along George Street. On the right is Boots Pharmacy. Next, we come to a row of popular clothing shops. First is McIntyre's, which specializes in quality country wear. The white shop is Fat Face, an international clothing brand with casual outfits. Next is Jules, known for its colorful British style. Across the street is Chalmers of Oban. It's one of the town's most historic shops, opened 1914. They are famous for their traditional tartans and Scottish knitwear. Chalmers has survived 2 world wars in this very spot. Let's continue our walk down George Street. This is a very popular spot for locals to walk their dogs. On our right is the Whisky shop. It's a great place to pick up a single malt souvenir. Right next door is Mountain Warehouse. Here is the outdoor seating for Cuan Moor. It is a fantastic place to try some traditional Scottish food. They serve local classics like haggis and fresh mussels. Moving along, we pass the Highland Soap Company. They make lovely handmade skincare products locally. We are now turning towards a true Oban landmark. This is the historic Oban Distillery. It first opened its doors way back in 1794. It is one of the oldest and smallest in Scotland. Let's take a quick peek inside the entrance. You can almost smell the malted barley from out here. We are briefly passing a few local restaurants. Now we will head back down towards the main street. Let's cross over towards the waterfront. This pedestrian area offers some fantastic views. It's the perfect place to relax and watch the boats. Let's check out another great local spot. This is the Oban Whisky and Fine Wines shop. Right next door is a lovely gift shop called Room 15. Then we come to a bright pink shop called the Pokey Hat. Pokey Hat is actually a Scottish term for an ice cream cone. There are plenty of places to sit outside and relax along here. It is a wonderful spot to just soak up the lively atmosphere. Over on the other side of the street is Bar Rio. If you visit, be sure to try their famous rock pasta seafood dish. Coming up is the former Visit Scotland Information Centre. Sadly, this location has now closed down permanently. Many Scottish centres closed recently, as visitors rely more on online resources. We are now approaching the North Pier restaurant. This popular spot offers some of the best seafood in town. It's famous for having incredible views across the Oban Bay. You can watch the sunset over the islands while you dine. Here at the North Pier, we can see one of the CalMac ferries docked. The pier's 1847 extension actually used an old shipwreck for its foundation. These boats are the lifeblood of the islands, carrying people and cargo daily. This pier is where smaller ferries and tour boats often depart. It's always a hive of activity, with visitors heading out to the Isles. In the distance, you can spot another ferry at the South Pier. That's the main terminal for the larger ships heading to Mull and beyond. Oban is Gaelic for the Little Bay, and it truly is a picturesque sight. You can see the iconic McCaig's Tower watching over us from the hilltop. It really shows why Oban is known as the gateway to the Isles. The Victorian architecture looks stunning against the green hills. The RNLI crew are essential for saving lives at sea. You will often see their blue charity tents. They rely on donations to run the lifeboats. The historic Columba Hotel sits on the left. This street is packed with local art galleries. It is a brilliant spot for unique souvenirs. The town center is full of life in the summer. McCaig's Tower dominates the skyline above. It was built in 1897 by a wealthy local banker. The streets here are very pedestrian-friendly. Visitors love exploring the independent shops. You can find everything from crafts to treats. The outdoor cafe terraces fill up very fast. Grab a coffee and enjoy the fresh sea breeze. It is the perfect way to relax after walking. Oban is a very dog-friendly holiday destination. Many local pubs happily welcome your pets. It makes walking around town a joy for everyone. The wide pavements make it easy for families. There are plenty of fantastic restaurants here. Scottish hospitality ensures a warm welcome. You will find great outdoor clothing stores. Scottish weather changes fast, so layer up. A good waterproof jacket is your best friend. A wooden bench offers a perfect resting spot. The low tide reveals the rocky harbor bed. You might spot coastal birds finding a snack. Traffic moves slowly along the coastal roads. This gives you time to admire the architecture. The bustling town of Oban is known as Scotland's seafood capital. This lively port is widely known as the gateway to the Isles. We are now walking along the beautiful Corran Esplanade. This waterfront path offers stunning views across Oban Bay. You can easily gaze across the water toward the Isle of Corryvreckan. The sounds of traditional bagpipes add to the Scottish atmosphere. They were used as instruments of war to signal troops and frighten enemies. Performers love to entertain locals and tourists along the bay. Now we are approaching the famous McCaig's Tower on Battery Hill. This striking monument was commissioned by banker John Stuart McCaig. McCaig designed it himself to look like the Colosseum in Rome. He built it to provide winter work for local stonemasons in 1897. The empty shell now houses a peaceful and beautifully kept garden. It is a wonderful place to escape the hustle and bustle of town. McCaig originally planned to build a museum and art gallery inside. Construction stopped entirely when he died of cardiac arrest in 1902. The interior grounds are now filled with vibrant plants and trees. During the summer months, the gardens are in spectacular full bloom. The structure was built using local Bonaway granite. There are exactly 94 lancet arches carved into these magnificent walls. The walk up to the tower is steep, but definitely worth the effort. Let's follow the path over to the main viewing platform. Get ready for a truly breathtaking panoramic view of the area. From up here, you can see right across Oban Bay to the islands. Helpful display boards point out all the visible landmarks for you. Taking in this stunning scenery is the perfect way to end the tour.